Hello, this is Dr. Mark Miravalle. I'm here in Ireland with Anne, a lay apostle. We are going through Volume 7, Greetings from Heaven. I would like to read this July 9th, 2004 message from St. Anthony, followed by Anne's commentary. These are his words. My dear friends in the world, all is well in heaven, where you will eventually dwell. All is tranquil, and graces flow freely from one soul to another, after originating in the Godhead. Truly, we are at peace. With this said, we are also at the alert because we are, like you, awaiting the sweeping changes that will alter the way of life in your world. We are glad for you, dear souls, because the world you have experienced is so unhappy. You do not even realize how difficult it is for you because you cannot compare it to our heavenly vision. Some older souls will remember, perhaps, that your world was not always filled with such darkness and confusion. But for this current generation, there is a void in knowledge of goodness. Many youth in the world now have never experienced goodness and peace because there are no souls following Christ near them. Can you imagine how this makes us feel? If there were not changes coming, we would feel helpless. But changes are coming, so we feel invigorated and optimistic. We are all committed to working alongside you to bring about changes on the ground, as it were, by which I mean in souls. You may feel you have no control because you did not choose this time, and neither will you choose to participate in the events that will usher in the new time. This is true, but I ask you to view it from my perspective. I am one who loved Jesus dearly and served him as best I could. When I look at the opportunities you have for service to the kingdom, I am truly jealous in the nicest way. If you are a great artist and you are viewing the work of another great artist, you may say, I would do that another way. Your vision would be different. At the same time, you would admire and respect the work done by your colleague. That is how it is for us. We look with the greatest of respect and admiration at the way you are dealing with these times. We are already ready with advice or encouragement. Do you understand? We are like soldiers who have faced the very same enemies and enemy strategies. When you get stuck, you must ask us for help, understanding that we view from above, as it were, so can we see more clearly what is up ahead of you. In this way, we can help you to divert from possible dangers and traps. I am Anthony. I love you dearly and consider you my closest friends. I want only to help you, and I continue to thank Jesus for allowing me to communicate with all of you on earth. I am your friend. Talk to me. Allow me to help you. There are many of us, and if you have friends in heaven, you must ask them for help now, because they have been given enhanced intercessory powers during this time. We are all going to work together to see you through this transition, and the earth will be remarkably beautiful afterwards. All that need concern you is service on each day. Everything else will be cared for by heaven. Never become discouraged, because truly there is no need to be. And your thoughts on this message from St. Anthony?
I love the way he talks about heaven, and I remind myself of this often, that in the experiences of heaven, I could see, a situation on earth that would cause humanity to be fearful, perhaps. And then I could see the way they were experiencing it, conducting themselves in heaven. They weren't afraid. They weren't anxious. They weren't angry. They weren't upset. It's so beautiful because they're so, as he says, tranquil in the divine will.
And did you get some experience about how he talks about grace flowing freely from one soul to another, originating in the Godhead?
It's the whole heaven. It is heaven. That is heaven. And that is where all this joy comes from, because everybody you encounter in heaven has no agenda other than loving you. Now, this is why these saints speak to us like this. They speak to us from the other world, and they have no agenda but loving us. Anthony says something very important, and he's saying, now, why should you listen to us? Well, you're like, just picture it, that we are like walking through an, let's say a jungle. And as you're walking through dense foliage, you can see what's in front of you, you can see what's here, and you know what you just came from. But now maybe 100 yards ahead is a big rushing stream. You don't know it unless you hear it. You might hear it coming, you might have, but he's saying, we can see what's in front of you. And that's why we're giving you this advice. So we would want to pay heed. There's an easy way and there's a hard way. If we do it this way, it will be the easy way for us.
Right. And this continues what Therese spoke of and Philomena spoke of about a time of transition, a time of change, significant time of change, but maximum preparation, seeing what is ahead of us tomorrow and the days or weeks or months ahead with that type of guidance.
Interior preparation.
Right, right. Now, he also seems to speak a lot about, he talks about a new time ushering in. Any comments on that?
Well, this is what hurts your heart when what hurts their heart, it should hurt ours. He talks about young people, and they said, how can heaven feel when we see so many young people who don't have any holy souls around them, and they aren't getting any example of goodness? They don't know what it is. They're being kind of trained to get the most, position yourself so that you can get the most material gain. You know, they're being trained to be manipulative as opposed to being trained to be brave followers of Christ. I have found that our young people don't even have a Catholic vocabulary anymore. We were talking about this. They don't know about the saints. They don't know about novenas. They don't know about Eucharistic adoration. They don't know anything about the true presence. And they are like an unchurched people. So in a way, we are like missionary workers in the past in our own countries. And now we also need to, a missionary worker going into a foreign land wouldn't condemn the people because they didn't know about the Trinity, right? He would pick up a shamrock and he would teach them about the Trinity. And we have to behave the same way, very mercifully and very compassionately. And in our conversations with people, we always want to do a little tiny bit of teaching about our faith, you know, a couple sentences. And that's important.
Yeah, it's a time to catechize in love.
Yes.
And it's heartening the way he talks about, in a very kind way, I'm almost jealous in a good way for the graces available. So these ongoing themes of time of change and challenge, but almost historically unprecedented graces, even saved up by saints and sufferings from the past for this time. So again, it's a super encouragement that we will have everything we need to do what we're called to do in this time.
That's right. And what do you concentrate on? Your service in each day.
Daily. Thank you, Anne.